Oh, hi there, baby bats. Hey, it's your goth dad, Dusty, and I am very long overdue in making this video. This video is a deep dive in my experiences at Adepticon, which is an amazing tabletop wargaming and miniatures convention. And I went there with the idea, okay, we all know and love Games Workshop. We love Warhammer. I'm a big 40K person myself, but I really wanted to go and find stuff that I'd never heard of. And that's exactly what I did. I ended up doing interviews with many game creators or representatives for the companies of these games that showed off games that I had never heard of. And a few of them I walked away quite a bit of a fan of and picked up some starter packs and some more miniatures to add to my giant pile of gray shame. So this video is pretty long. It's going to feature interviews at length with some of the game creators and people demoing the game, so you get a sense of what the game is about, and hopefully I'll be able to visually depict some of the miniatures in this as well. But I think the ultimate valuable experience that I took away from Adepticon was actually in the sense of community that's built around it. For me, tabletop wargaming and miniature painting and creation is by and large something I do on my own. I do all my miniature painting on my own because it's a very Zen meditative thing that I get to sort of shut the rest of the world out. And I personally love that it brings a sense of quiet to my very busy and chaotic and loud brain. It was very cool to experience this very different reality of tabletop wargaming, which is something that I've done for decades and I really love. But, you know, there were so many amazing people, so many really kind and genuine, interesting people, but everybody was just very excited to be there and, you know, sharing hints and tips on painting or talking about lore or whatever, just espousing their love of things unabashedly. And I think that's a really important thing that we don't really get to do a lot in society these days. I think a lot of people are very afraid of being perceived, especially in public spaces when everything is filmed and recorded and captured these days. So it's just really nice to be around anything where people get to be nerds and love what they do and just show that love for these different games without worrying about how they're perceived by other people. So anyway, I really hope that you get to learn about some new games through this video that you might not have heard about, and hopefully it will open you to some new worlds that you can have many battles in the future ahead. Oh, hi there, goths, ghouls, gays, theys, and gamers. I'm here at Adepticon 2026, and some of you might be asking, what is Adepticon? It is a tabletop wargaming and miniatures convention here in Milwaukee. This is my first time here, and it has been absolutely amazing. There are hundreds of vendors, dozens of companies displaying and demoing their games, and I've learned about so many new games here that I've never even heard of. I've gotten to play a lot of them, and it has been absolutely incredible. So come along with me as we show you some of these maybe lesser known games that I think you're really going to enjoy. All right, I am here at Adepticon with Stuart, and he is representing Armored Clash, which is part of the dystopian universe. And so tell us about the game. What's the vibe of the game?
So yeah, it's set in the dystopian universe. We had a previous game called Dystopian Wars. That game was a naval combat game where it was set in a Victorian era, but we've discovered diesel and a few other elements that have allowed technology to advance a lot quicker than it did. So as a result, we've got Victorian style soldiers, but they've got tanks and super boats that they should not have had. There's a faction called the Enlightened that found experiments on their troop as well. So they're a very fun faction. Not that I'm biased, but they're just fun.
I like it. So can you kind of run us through the flow of the game? Like, how does it generally work?
Absolutely. So we do it in a you go, I go style. So you activate a unit, I activate a unit. We didn't want there to be a lot of downtime because there's nothing worse than a game where your opponent has to do absolutely everything. Right. 40K. And basically, especially if you're on the end of certain shooting phases in some games, you can be there a long time. We want it to be you go, I go. We want it to be very punchy. Every unit activates twice, so they can move, shoot, they can aim, shoot, or they can charge and get into combat, depending on what they want to do. The dice explode, but they only explode once, so it's a nice punchy dice system. It's what we call a combined arms game as well. So there's things like aerial units, there's tanks, there's ground troops, light, heavy infantry, and that kind of thing. All plays really nicely. Very quick game. the rules are simple to pick up, but without being cheesy, like difficult to master.
Right.
So there's a lot of nuance to your army, and it's very easy to see what your army does. Our rules are free, and you can look at them, and very quickly you'll pick up my army wants to do this. So whether it wants to be a fast army, it wants to be armored, or it wants to be like an elite army, you'll pick that up very quickly from them.
Yeah, so we played a demo. We'll actually come over here and check this out. We played a demo yesterday, and the thing that I really liked about the game was especially the die rolling system,
Yes.
and getting some re-rolls in. Like it feels a little bit like less to chance, a little bit more even-ended, because you do get a little bit of sway on that.
I think it's, if you're bad with dice like I am traditionally, this makes you a bit better. So you've got more guarantees to hit, and the units do what they want to do. So we've got a close combat unit here. They get bonuses in combat, and you see those dice explode really quickly when they get into combat. And same with this thing here, it has one of the best guns in the game. When it does hit you, you don't want it to hit you, basically.
Right.
The dice though have a really cool system. So we only explode once, and we get a lot of combat advantages that let us re-roll more and more symbols on the dice. So but if you're at a combat advantage, there's only one symbol you can't re-roll, which means you should be hitting things in this game. You won't get that I've whiffed completely.
Right. Yeah. So on this board specifically, can you walk us through these two factions and generally what they're about?
So we have the Empire on this side here. Let me just move some dice out of the way so you can see them better. So the Empire are a superpower group. Probably have the most troops in the game and in the universe as well. This is if Japan, Korea, China have all made friends and they've got together, so they've become a big dominant power on the globe. On the other side of it, we've got the Crown. This is Britain doing what Britain does and hanging on to a crumbling empire, refusing to let it go. So they have less troops, very, very elite troops, very good guns, but when they lose units, they really feel that and it really affects the game. Whereas the Empire, they like to do a lot of infantry spam. We had a tournament downstairs yesterday and someone took hundreds and hundreds of these. It looks incredible, but it took a long time to move everything as well.
Lots of rolling. And then so some of these units for the Empire are robotic, correct?
Correct. So these two here are automatons. So we've got the Lion automata here, and then the Terracotta Warriors here. These guys basically have rocket-propelled spears, so they want to charge into infantry. When they hit infantry, the infantry gets wiped off almost. They don't run away either because they're robots, and we're not building robots to run away. These guys are designed to eat tanks, so they want to run up the board, get into these guys here, especially in the demo.
Yeah. So there's a really cool routing and breaking feature where when you lose a certain amount of soldiers, you have to account for that and roll for them for the morale.
So we use a deck to do this. So in a full game, you have a deck that allows you to score extra victory points, or if you're on the back foot, will give you bonuses to combat or make you tougher to run away. So you can pick those moments of going, am I going to score, or do I actually just want to catch up, or do I want to make sure that unit goes? But when we lose units, so if we lose 2 units of these guys here, they'll now have to take a suppression check. So we just flip the top of the deck. If we get under our discipline check, we stay around. If we don't get if we get over or equal, we either get suppressed or run away. At the moment, they would just get suppressed because they've only used two bases. If they get down to 3 bases, even if they will just run away because enough's enough at that point.
Right. And it seems like just from the demo that we played yesterday, a lot of it, obviously you shape the battlefield with your infantry and your more maneuverable elements, but a lot of it does kind of centerpiece around these larger units and the volleys kind of back and forth.
Absolutely. So we wanted them to feel like they are. So if you look at the scale of this guy compared to these are meant to be massive land ships. They are a big point investment into your army. So at lower points games, they are a risk to take because you now have a lot less to take objectives and score those victory points. But it comes at that trade-off if they have some of the best guns in the game. We haven't got them here, but the Imperium have a big robot that's about this high.
Oh, yeah.
He has a Tesla cannon. We sold out of that, surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
And he really gets work done. So we really want these to be centerpieces. They're quite hard to take off the table. So with the demos we did yesterday, even though we were doing about 15 hits with these guys, it only converted to about 3 wounds.
Wow.
So we don't want these to be blown off the table in turn 1. They're your centerpiece unit. They should be sticking around and doing damage.
Very cool. Well, I've got to say this has been one of the coolest things that I've seen at the entire con, and I totally enjoyed it. I picked up a starter set myself right after we played because it was that much fun, and it's super easy. The rules are not crazy sweaty. They're not like overly simple, but it's just challenging enough to be engaging, but without being like daunting.
I think absolutely. I think the rules are nice and easy to pick up, and the way we move, the way we shoot, and everything is very easy. It comes from those balances of keywords on your cards that you get here. And again, you can look at these at any time on the War Cradle website, and they're free to look at, and you'll see what your army wants to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stuart. Thank you for coming to our Goth night. Also, this man came out in proper livelihood, and we had a great time. So
Still
really,
recovering now.
thank you so much again. It's great to meet you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Matt from Smash Bash Games.
Smash Bash, that's right.
Smash Bash,
Yeah.
and I'm here to talk to you about your game Sunrot.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I love Sunrot. Sunrot is a GM-led card-flipping rules light where you, the viewer, will be racing against actual time to escape solar death.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
it's a, GM-led card-flipping, 3 actions. With your actions, you can move and then do anything you could do in the world. Run, jump, fight, hide, leap. You flip cards instead of reading a rule book, and kill monsters. Every 10 real-life minutes, things happen in the world. It's rotting all around you, and really turns into a big pressure pot that wants to kill you. So don't die. That's Sunrot.
That sounds awesome. So it's a pretty accessible game?
Yeah, I would say it's extraordinarily accessible. It's really easy to pick up and run. You know how to play it now. I've just taught you. 4-up hits, and everything's governed by cards. There's some people playing. Oh, they're not. Oh, here we
They were.
Hey, well, come this way.
Closer.
Come, please. Yes. It's a very easy game to play because, as I was saying, it's you take 3 actions. Go down here. Oh, we've already got some people who are dead. Here's our poor astrologer. 1, 2, 3. Moves 3. They're petitioning the stars, trying to understand what's going on here. What is happening here? Stars, tell me. 3, not good. 3, also not good. Hey, that's all right. We've got a wizard here. He's going to help. Move 3 tiles. 1, 2, 3. He sees these creepy celebrants people. He's going to take an action. 2, as the game designer, 5, I knew I had it in me. So the wizard wants to blast these things. He doesn't care about understanding at all. So you just shuffle up these cards, and then we're going to reveal a card. We're just go. Can you flip one for me?
Sure.
All right. What's that say? Horcrux Fracture. Uh-oh. Drop a random item you have. Well, a random item you have explodes. Dealing 1 damage to everything in a 1-tile radius. He's jumped in a little too hot. He's going to drop one of the items that he has, governed by these item cards, onto the ground with one of these little tokens here. It's going to explode. And deal 1 point of damage to every single person in this party. Things aren't going very well right now. That's Sunrot. That happens. And so then every 10 minutes, you have these events that we were talking about. Whoa, here we go. So you just shuffle up this deck of event cards here, and then flip over an event. We've got lots of people fuck it. We've got gravity flux. So it says, the gravity changes, and all of these events are all unique individual cards. Every single card is unique and individual. So it's really easy to kind of take in the atmosphere and really push things forward. We came into we learned how to play a game at the end of a game that had already happened.
Yeah.
And we were able to sort of kind of put together a narrative.
Right.
Just based on what we saw in front of us.
So narrative-heavy gameplay.
Narrative-heavy gameplay. And the nice thing about the narrative-heavy gameplay is that your players help you tell the narrative.
Cool.
Right? Because it's you come into the room, you control what would you want the astrologer to do?
Yeah.
What would you want the astrologer to do?
See into the future?
See into the future, exactly. Consult the stars, right?
Yeah.
Or you want to investigate these guys that are here, or you want to jump into the sewer grate, or you want to kick down a door, whatever. All of that action is driven by the players. And so as the game master, all you have to do is just set up something that looks interesting and say go.
Very cool.
And then people will go for you.
So very, very imagination heavy.
Yeah, very, very imagination heavy.
Very
Yeah. Very much so.
And I understand that it's miniature agnostic.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's mini agnostic. So the board game has all the minis, all the token representation, but there's a bunch of really cool minis painted on the table over there. You could plop them right in this game and use them 1 for 1, no problem.
But you have your own line as well?
Yeah, I do have my own line as well. So it's Smash Bash. And I do blister packs. I do a bunch of weird conversions. I work with Anna Polancic, Gardens of Hecate on the internet, Mold. So a really collaborative approach to mini making and mini selling as well.
Very cool.
And so the game works with all of those, but they also work with anything you might already have.
Yeah.
As a person who plays mini games. Yeah.
What was your like general inspiration for the game?
My inspiration for the game was playing Dungeons and Dragons with my partner. So we were playing a lot of D&D. I've been playing a lot of D&D. They had been playing zero D&D.
Yeah.
And so if you play D&D a lot, or if you play any of these board games a lot, you're like, oh boy, here come the rules, right? And in D&D has a lot of them. It's like, you're a fighter, you got to make a character. You got to understand what all the stats are. You got to understand what stats mean.
Yeah.
What does it mean I have a strength of 16? Like, how does that come, like, okay, well, I've got my character sheet. It's all done. I figured it out. Now I get to play, right? And you're like, well, actually, right? And so, like, every single time you want to do something when you're playing D&D, the rules are there. And in my experience, they kind of get in front of you.
Right.
But if you know them, they're behind you, right? But, like, it's like it bounces a lot of people off. And so I wanted to make an adventure game that, like, that brought people in immediately.
Yeah.
Like, how hard can it be to hit a goblin in the head with a mace? D&D says vary. I say, let's do it right now. Yeah, we can do it right now. Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. What were there like influences for the art style and in that direction? Like, what influenced that?
Yeah, totally. I like, I like Baroque art and I like Impressionism. Those are like my two favorite things. So like, I turn to the public domain because there's a lot of really impressive art in there's artists have been making art for an eternity.
Right.
And so there's a lot of art there for us to have and consume and look at and use. So I was like, why not just use that and then kind of like curate the vision through what was already available.
Right.
So then the art informed the cards, and the cards informed the art, and the mechanics informed the art, and the art informed, so it's like...
So it's very like organic, kind of letting it be what it wants to be.
Exactly. And so like that's what the art is, and that's kind of that's what the game is as well.
Well, when we were walking by the other day, the art was what caught our eye. So I just want to say that the art is amazing.
Thank you.
We got the pre-ordered set, so you have a set coming out with the board.
That's right. I do have a set coming out, so you can get all of the things that hopefully that you're going to see on this channel. Maybe we're pre-ordered for $80 in production right now in a factory. Going to be on its way to me. You get all of the things that you see here, a bunch of things that are inside of a box. And also an expansion pack that's exclusive to the pre-order. You get a booklet of scenarios. If you're a little confused, you get these like nice little, really evocative scenarios to go with it to kind of prime your pump in terms of like setting up these narrative adventures. Yeah, and all of that for $80 plus shipping to wherever you are.
Steal, yeah.
Truly it is.
Well, we're super excited to play it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for introing us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Really, and I can't wait to play the game, and we'll let you know what we think when we get it.
Please. And if you play the game, you have to tell me what you think, because like this game was built by playing it with other people and in collaboration with other people. And if it's going to be any good in the future, it's only going to be good because people tell me what they like and what they don't like.
Absolutely.
And what works for them and what doesn't. So like if you buy the game and play it, talk to me about it.
No glad handing. No. Like, be honest.
Yeah, tell me. Like if it's like, let me know what you like and what you don't like, because that's how you make games. So that's what I want to hear. So yeah, I'd really appreciate it.
It makes me very happy to meet people that are genuinely in love with the things they create. It's one of my favorite things in the world is meeting people that wholeheartedly stand behind the art they create. So thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you.
So I'm here with Jason from Archon Games, and this is actually one of the things that I was most excited about coming to Adepticon for. So I saw a couple months ago a little blurb on, I think it was Instagram, where it was like, hey, there's a Starcraft game coming on tabletop with miniatures, and I grew up playing Starcraft like crazy. So this was a must-see, and I snagged the introductory set before it sold out, which is great.
We sold 100% of our starter boxes.
But I'm just super excited to get some minis built and painted and play this. But anyway, I'm here to talk to you about the game and just kind of like give us like a kind of run through about what Starcraft the game is going to be like.
Yeah, right on. So Starcraft, the tabletop miniatures game, is a alternating activations game that's played in phases. So I like to think of it that Archon Studios sort of went window shopping to all of the most beloved games that we know and love, and they sort of cherry picked all of the the features that everyone loves about those games and put it into like one hybrid model. But the biggest thing that sets this game apart, other than the IP, of course, everyone's Starcraft's beloved, is the fact that it's alternating activation. You know, you're not going to be standing around for 90 minutes watching your opponent play the game. Like, you're engaged constantly, and it seems like it's very much designed to be emulating features of the video game that you remember from your childhood.
Right. So is there an element of this where you have like a resource that you're expending to create more units, or how does that work?
Yeah. So each of the factions has their own unique resource. The Terrans have command points, the Zerg have biomass, and the Protoss have psionic energy.
Okay.
That's like their finite resource that they can spend. List building is done in 2 different game sizes. You have, I'm going to say points just for generic, but it's really minerals. So it's like you have 1,000 mineral or 1,000 points in 2,000 point games. The way that the game works is based off of the mission that you select to play.
Okay.
You get a certain amount of supply that you have access to. So starting in turn 1, you may only have access to 3 supply, let's say. And each of the units is indicated how much supply they cost. So you start off with turn 1 with a small amount of units on the board. And as the game progresses, you end up with more and more units on the table. So it starts off very skirmish feeling in the first turn.
Right.
And you really get full-on army-on-army clash. You get that narrative, like, invested cinematic moment towards the end of the game.
Cool. Yeah, and I've got to say, as far as miniatures, just as game aside, the sculpts of these minis are incredible. They are very faithful to the game, for the original RTS game, what I mean. So, do the play styles of the armies, are they kind of like modeled to be similar to the game as far as mechanics?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the various models that we have depicted here, the various units we have depicted here, are drawn from all across the different StarCraft source materials. They're taking things from all of the video games that you know and love, and even some stuff that's as obscure as the old StarCraft comic books, which I didn't even know that there was until I came here to Adepticon. Another thing to help out like newer players, that one of the things that I love that they've done, and I attribute this to the attention to detail and the respect for the community, is they've even gone so far as put a little indicator on the back of the card for folks who aren't familiar with the original units, as give them an idea of, is it more of a close combat unit or a ranged unit or somewhere in between, right?
Cool.
So if you didn't grow up playing this game and you just don't inherently know that, well, Zerglings are bitey little guys.
Yeah.
You can look at, look, they're close combat oriented. That gives you an idea of how to play them. So
very cool. So this is we got the introductory set here. Is that going to be available online, or like what's the plan for releases and whatnot?
So the introductory sets that we have here are also known as the Founders Edition sets. Those, I believe, are only going to be offered for a limited time. You can still get those online, at least through the duration of Adepticon. I had heard, don't quote me on this, up to April 17th.
Okay.
Possibly at the latest, to get in on some of these bundles. So like the Founders Edition starter sets should be available. We did sell out of the Zerathul models. He's still available online. Of course, you're going to have to pay shipping to get them from Poland.
Right.
So you can still get them. There's
still stuff online. Again, thank you so much for explaining the way the game kind of feels. I'm really excited to get these models built. And I hope to be playing some of these games next year when we come back to Adepticon.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's very community-oriented, so if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
People have decided that organized play is something they really want, so while I can't say for certain it'll happen, people want it.
Well, sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again.
Right. Thanks.
Cheers. I'm here with Jacob, and you're with All Game Terrain.
Yeah.
And we're here to talk about your modular terrain design that you guys showed me yesterday, and I'm really excited about this. So tell me about what you guys have here.
Yeah, so what we got releasing is we have our landforms. So you can kind of see that here. We have our landforms. They block line of sight. They're pre-painted or durable, or they create interest and strategy. So like you can move these things apart, put them in different areas, and they're all going to match the mats that we're going to be releasing here. So you'll see that they have like different line of sight blocks, or maybe it'll change like how the gameplay is being ran. But it also has these flat areas here that you can place like little miniatures in case you want them to like kind of scale the mountain or go over the mountain.
Elevation, yeah.
And then there's even going to be some like static pieces, kind of like this. And these are all mock-ups, so this isn't like the finished product.
Right.
But, they're all going to be pre-painted. They're going to be super durable. And they're going to be coming in like little boxes just like this. So like one of these desert landforms would be like, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Would be like 5 in a box. Or you'd even run into like some walls or some rubble and stuff like that, and they'll all be pre-painted and look pretty cool.
Is there any idea on how many like climbs or biomes or like environments you guys are working on?
I'm not too sure at this time. I think there's going to be more information the closer that we get to it.
Okay.
So we're hoping to release it sometime at the end of this year, and we'll have some more information when that comes out.
And you guys were working on maybe some crater stuff, is that correct?
Yeah, so we're going to be working on some craters. So you can kind of see how like the detail in these. You can see like we added some of our realistic water with some tents. Also, you can kind of like paint these craters. So like these would have been like moon craters that are also painted and shaded in a way that looks like something you would see coming out of Earth.
Right.
But also you can see our different types of like accessories we got coming out, which is going to be like our sandbags, our low walls, our hedgehogs, and then we also have like our mini starter kits as well, which is you ever want to like get a quick base in a box, all you got to do is buy one of these mini starter bases, and it's going to show you like kind of what you see here, where there's enough material to make a little mini.
Cool.
Yeah, and then it's all in a display case. So it can dual as a display case or a carrying case, something like that. So it's super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we also have our like gaming mats too. So we're hoping to make these double-sided.
Okay.
So you can kind of see here, this is more of like a desert campaign, where this would be like some forest.
Yeah.
And then we would like the landform to kind of mash up and be able to be used on that as well.
Very cool.
And then what else we got? We got our mini bases, which are going to be right here. They're going to be like 25 millimeter blank spaces that you're going to be able to put like squadrons of troopers on.
Yeah.
Right? And then you just be able to lift them up, move them all together, and they're all pre-painted. Or you can paint them yourself, so they'd still have that customizability. So,
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about this. I think that like having a set of really like high quality pre-painted terrain is great. You can spend more time playing and less time working on terrain. And I really like the modular design, being able to scale depending on a scenario. Maybe, you know, one day you do want a big mountain, but some days you want like more of a flat, like little hill, and that works well. So thank you so much for running me through it. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. You guys have a
I am here with Goblin Hobbies, and this was something that really caught my eye. We were walking by yesterday, and I said, "That's amazing." So why don't you guys like run me through what you have on offer for us today?
Yeah, well, we can show you a little bit of a demo. We've got 16 different stamping plates, a bunch of different colors, and the whole idea is to take, color on the plate, off the plate, onto the model.
Okay.
So I can run you through that real quick if you'd like. So the idea is pick a design that we want, fill it up with our paint. So a scraper card that's going to take off the top layer. I'm going to roll gently over the top to pick that up. And then I'm going to look down the back here and press onto my shield so you can see that. And then that transfers onto the model.
Beautiful. And it's really pristine. I mean, that's something that I could definitely not do free-handed with my skill level, but that is like so time saving. The way I see this being really useful is like you're working on a really huge army and you have really cool heraldry or something, but you don't want to spend 1,000 hours painting that. So do you have different like sets of plates available?
Yeah, so we've got a starter set that has a couple plates, a couple colors, and a stamper scraper. And then we've got 16 individual plates that have all sorts of different things that you can use for a ton of different types of games.
Yeah, this is looks great to me because this is something that I love painting, but there's certain aspects for certain people that I think they want to speed things up, and this is something I think, especially somebody that's getting into the hobby, this could really help them not feel so overwhelmed by having to do some really finite details or small minute details, I should say. So this is great. Yeah. Where can people find this available on the internet? Or
so we're on YouTube. We're on Instagram, but goblinhobbies.com is where we've got all of our stuff.
Cool. Well, thanks for showing us, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Cool. I am here with Billy, and we are looking at Conflict 47. Can you tell us a little bit about the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Conflict 47 is basically a Weird War spin on World War II. Essentially, it is World War II up until nuclear testing in Los Alamos creates a rift. It could be a split in the dimension portal. It could be a tear into time-space. That is a little bit unclear. But what we do know is there are signals coming through the rift. And the U.S. scientists were able to decipher those signals. And what it turns out, it's actually new designs for technologies. So they were able to build mechs and jumpsuits for their Firefly soldiers, and things like Tesla turrets for tanks and power suits and all sorts of great stuff. This led to the U.S. dropping an atomic bomb on Dresden instead of Japan, which eradicates the Nazi Party. But what it also does is it opens another rift in Dresden. Now, the remaining factions of the Axis actually consolidate to form one unified Axis power. And in that, they also start to decipher codes from the rift, which they use to build new mechs and power suits of their own. Being the Axis, they also use this to create super serums that reanimate the dead or turn their soldiers into monstrosities like the Nachtjager, which are some vampiric beasties. There are also the Schreckwolfen, which are like werewolf soldiers. Now, there is a bit of a Lend-Lease program between some of these powers. The US, for instance, had a Lend-Lease program with the British Commonwealth, and they shared some of their Tesla technology with them. Now, the Brits used this to create incredible AI automatons, which are basically thinking robots that now come to the battlefield to fight. They didn't exactly share those back with the US, which caused a little bit of friction there. So there's been a cooling of that type of truce that they had.
Gotcha.
Axis, a little bit similar with the Empire of Japan. Being a part of the Axis originally, they shared that sort of technology with the Empire. Japan used it to build power suits of their own, but they also unlocked something called Shiburo space, excuse me. And that led them to create the Ghost Attack Squad, which is a technology that allows them to phase through matter.
Oh, wow.
It also allows them to phase through space. So there's a new wrinkle in that. And the Emperor felt like it was his divine right to keep this technology, so he didn't share it with the Axis, which caused them to break away from the Axis, and the Empire of Japan is their own sovereign nation now.
Cool. And we have Soviets as well, right?
That's true. And being that nobody shared anything with the Soviets, Stalin wasn't exactly stoked on that, so he basically said, all deals are off, you're all my enemies. And the Soviets did what the Soviets do best, which is espionage.
Cool. So the game is generally a mashup of historical combat with a sci-fi and occult slant as well. So a little bit for everybody.
Absolutely.
Cool. What does the game play like? What's the flow of play?
Yeah, well, if you're familiar with our other game at Warlord, Bolt Action, which is a really straightforward historical World War II game.
Right.
It follows the same mechanics and army build style as the 3rd edition of Bolt Action, which was launched in September of 2024. So it essentially is, if you've played Bolt Action and you understand the order die mechanic, you're going to take to this immediately.
Cool.
Now, this also has a few wrinkles that makes it its own game. Naturally, the weapons work a little bit differently. There's other things that you've never seen before in World War II, so that's going to cause a different kind of play style. One of the unique things about the game is we introduced order dice as a part of the mechanic. Now, order dice are assigned to each Rift unit. A unit could be a squad of Firefly soldiers, a squad of heavy power suit men, a mech, whatever the case may be. And they have different ways of using that Rift dice to activate. So, cool. Rift dice also have a uniqueness to themselves. When you use your Rift die to trigger Rift tech, one of 3 outcomes can occur. It can be exhausted after you use it, in which case you put it back in the dice bag to be pulled for the next round. It could remain active, which means you could keep it with your unit and use it again next turn. Or it can move to surging, which is kind of a supercharge for that Rift tech. Now, when you exhaust your Rift tech when it's surging, there's a couple things that can also happen. It's almost like a Mass Effect, where you have it kind of creates those theatrical holy cow moments on the table. So if you're kind of down under it and you want to turn the tide, this would be a way to do it, to really kind of gain traction. But there is a cause and effect. So there is going to be a price to pay for exhausting.
Some unintended circumstances.
Exactly. Now, it could be something like, oh, my Tesla turret is exhausted, I can't even use it next round. Or, my power suits are a little bit tired, so I can only move at half speed. So you're going to get certain kind of, penalties for doing that, but it could really change the flow of the game in your favor. It's all a part of kind of the ebb and flow of what we do on the table here.
Yeah, and then of course the die always tell the story in those kinds of situations.
Exactly, yeah. So you never really know what's going to happen, and that's one of the other things that I really love about the mechanic is it's not a straight up you go, I go system. It's an order die pull out of the bag. It's a blind pull, so depending on whose order die comes out of the bag, that's who gets to activate a unit. So it is very... let's call it chaotic in that you never know who goes next. So it does replicate that fog of war as to what's going on.
Cool.
It also makes it really unique game to game. So even if you're playing the same opponent, playing against the same army, no 2 games are going to be the same.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for giving us the rundown. I got a starter set a while back, and I picked up the new narrative book. So there's a series coming out with the narrative books?
Yes. So actually, this is Festung Europa, which is the brand new book. It's out today. This is the start of the Rift War series. This is volume 1. We have 7 volumes planned in this Rift War series. The next of the books is going to be released over the summer. So that will be the 2nd volume of Rift Wars, titled Invasion America.
Ooh, I wonder what that could possibly be about.
We never know.
Well, thanks so much, Billy. I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Dusty, appreciate you.
Yeah,
thanks
all
again.
the best. I can't wait to come back with my models next year to play. It's going to be great.
I look forward to it.
Cheers, man. Thanks.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hey, everybody. I'm here at Adepticon, and I'm here with Prince, who is part of the Military Healing Creative Process Group. And they do some really cool work with veterans' mental health advocacy. They donate to veterans' mental health. So tell me about what you're here to do and what you do in general.
So this weekend here at Adepticon, basically we've got a charity raffle going on. The raffle that we raise money for is going to be, like you said, for veterans' mental health. So we donate every year to the Headstrong Project and Stop Soldier Suicide. Both those organizations do free counseling for veterans. So about every $1,000 that we raise this year provides about 22 hours for active duty members or veterans that need help with their mental health. Here, when we're at the conventions, what we do is basically we have a QR code People can scan it. They can buy raffle tickets. The raffles will put them into a contest to win this huge diorama that can have up to about 45 of these little mechs in it. Or they can just do a general donation. What we also like to do is like to give back to the community or to those that donate. So every $10 that they donate, they can get one of the models off of our table. Or if they donate over $15, they can actually get the MHCP model, little guy for that. So it's something we give back to them that they could take home. Someone's going to ask them, hey, where'd you get that model from? Oh, well, I got it from this event that I saw there. To continue to spread the awareness.
Yeah.
This is more where we started. We just wanted people to be aware that there's an invisible battle out there that we fight.
Right.
That a lot of people don't want to talk about. A lot of people don't want to capture. And, I got out of the military over 22 years ago. I did 22 years, 3 months, 9 days, and I'd do it all over again.
Yeah.
The last 3 days being retired, this is what I focused on.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like miniature painting, like I got out of the Army several years ago. And like when I've refound, Warhammer, but other games like miniature painting became such a thing that was like cathartic for me because it just shuts off my brain. It just like quiets the chaos of my mind. Yep. And I think that like seeing guys like y'all being here and what you're doing, it really reinstills like, oh yeah, this isn't just me. Like there are so many of us in this community that are like veterans that find like a sense of peace and a calm within this, I think. So I think it's really cool what you're doing, and we appreciated.
We started off with art therapy, the two of us. That's what I actually started doing it for, was just art therapy. I tried to get back into the gaming. That somewhat didn't fulfill the gap that I wanted, so I just went to painting all the time. To creating my own miniatures, to just building this nonprofit from the scratch. Started off with money out of my pocket, and now, here we are a couple of years later, 7 years total doing what we've been doing, being able to raise the money that we're raising, between conventions, and we just started doing races. So we've got some 5K races out there that we do. Just trying to branch out and show people and continue to spread awareness.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
no problem. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you. All right, this is probably the thing that I've been most excited about seeing in person, which is Trench Crusade, and I'm here with Cliff. We are here to talk about this amazing game. So tell us a little bit about the world of Trench Crusade.
Okay, so very grimdark. Essentially, the forces of hell, Jerusalem has been pulled into the hell. Forces of hell have swept out, taken over the Levant, and humanity has rallied and tried to push them back. You have amazing miniatures designed from great artists all over the world, and it's a fast, fun, and furious game that just really captures that whole almost apocalyptic level of threat and reward. Can we save the world?
Right. Yeah, the game really plays very fast. It felt we played a full game yesterday. It moves quick. There's not a lot of waiting around. It's kind of very dynamic. One of the things that I really loved about the game was the blood marker system. So tell us about that, how that works a little bit.
Yeah, so it's usually really easy to hit your opponent, and it's easy to kill them. But if you don't kill them, you're able to add what's called a blood marker. Typically, it's only one, but you can accumulate them. And if I put a blood marker on one of your models, I'm able to spend it to improve my chances of taking you out or hitting your model. And you can do the same to mine.
Right. So it's like things can shift rapidly based on those blood markers.
Absolutely. And that's also one of the things I think you noticed, or I think you said there was very little downtime. It keeps me engaged in your turn, thinking, okay, I've got a blood marker on these two models. Yeah. Do I want to spend them? Do I want to let them ride? Because letting them ride and accumulating more blood markers means an even better chance of me taking one of your models out.
Right. And there's a variety of really cool factions. Talk us through a couple of the factions that you really love.
Well, I mean, essentially, it's heaven or hell.
Right.
Within heaven, you have the arm of the church militant, the forces of New Antioch. It's that last bastion right before you get to hell. And they are fighting for everybody. But coming through, you have trench pilgrims, common men and women who are just inspired to go fight the forces of hell themselves. And you have the Iron Sultanate, which are some of these models right here. Basically, Janissaries, Azebs, models from the Muslim countries who are actually fighting against hell itself as well. For the forces of hell, you have some of the 7 court models. You have the Black Grail, pestilential creatures crawling out, and heretic legions. Again, much like trench pilgrims, men and women who say, well, you know what, that Satan guy sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I love the sculpts. One of the models that I immediately picked up was the Amalgam, which is like a beast with arms that are like, it's like weapons, guns built into biomass. And yeah, it's a very like body horror. I love a lot of the horror imagery in this.
There's a lot of goopiness. There's a lot of goopiness. But even within just the regular human legions, it's very like people are chained into machines and broken on the Catherine, the Antioch Shrine, or not the Antioch Shrine, the Anchorite Shrine, has a giant Catherine wheel as a shield with someone broken on it. And in the game, you can take one of your models out to be that guy.
Oh, wow.
And it helps empower it.
Yeah, that's cool. So there's a lot of like function meets design in the game too as well.
Absolutely.
That's great.
One of the other models that's kind of like that is the Sin Eater. It allows you to take a model that's close to it and it literally eats it. Putting it inside, after a certain amount of time, it can either fight free or it's gone.
Oh, wow.
And then it can eat another model.
Cool. So I was really excited to see a lot of the physical miniatures because like I don't have like a proper like resin printer for minis, and I was really happy to see that you guys had like actual stuff for sale here. Is there is there a plan to move forward with having more physical stuff for the company and for producing for Trench Crusade?
I mean, there are new plastics out for the Free Cities of Prussia, the Staatstruppen, and in the upcoming supplement Carcass Front, there is 2 new plastic warbands in that as well for both Heaven and Hell. I can't speak to that. I'm just a retail monkey, but I would be totally surprised if there were not.
Yeah, absolutely. And mentioning the Carcass Front, that's the first narrative campaign.
It is a map-based narrative campaign. 2 new warbands and a book with just a ton of art. I got to peek at a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I didn't see much. I was just like, I cannot wait for the 29th of July.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. We also picked up a copy of the hardbound rulebook, and I've got to say the art is so incredible. I mean, it was a no-brainer. We immediately were like, we've got to get this. So I'm just so excited to see where this goes. I think that this is going to be a game that a lot of people are going to be playing in the years to come because it's so easy to learn. I am very mentally deficient when having rules explained. I learned by doing, but this is a game that I picked up very quickly because you learn by doing. Like the rolling system makes sense. It's very straightforward, and like we were talking about, it's just fast-paced, and I like that. You're not waiting around. Yeah.
The one thing I love about the rules is if you're trying to do something, a 7 or better is always successful.
Yeah.
If you can remember that, and I can remember that, you'll figure it out. And again, in the rule book, it's a huge hardcover rule book, with tons of great lore and art. And the rules are actually a very small part of it. You have all your factions in there as well. And all of that can also be found online at trenchcrusade.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited to get this home, and we're going to be playing this on our tabletop. And we'll be back hopefully next year to play here as well at 2027 Adepticon. Cheers. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Now, last but certainly not least, I wanted to show you some video footage of me DJing at Goth Dad's Grimdark Side Quest, which was a goth and 80s and post-punk dance party put together by the local DJ consortium of Goth Barge in Milwaukee, and we had the absolute best time. And if you're watching this and you were at Adepticon and you didn't come to the dance party, I really hope that next year you will, because I plan on doing this again. Hopefully we can make it work. It was just such a great time DJing right across the street from the convention center at the Hyatt, and all the goths and gamers got together and we just had the best time. So please Definitely join us next time. I'm so excited to come back.